Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel. This is Love Marquis here. This is going to be my first video, so fasten your seats because I feel like this is going to be a bumpy ride. I'm literally recording on my bed, in my PJs, on my laptop. So let's just see how this goes. I wanted to get this video out because I have a couple people reaching out to me about this topic, and so I just thought I'd put a video up about it because I was looking for videos like this this time last year. So this video is going to be about applying to occupational therapy school graduate programs. So I applied to 3 schools last year. I was offered admittance to 2 and I was denied from 1. So I'm just going to give you kind of some advice, things that I tried to do or found to be effective, I think, because I was offered admittance in 2 schools. So I'm just going to go kind of quick so this video doesn't get long. I have 6 tips. Let me go to my notes. Sorry, give me 1 second. All right. Sorry, I told you, I'm literally in my PJs. This was super cute, like a PJ set from Amazon, like $7. It's like silk or satin. I don't really know the difference between the two. But it's super cute. I can put that in the description box if you guys like PJ sets like I do, but that is totally unrelated. Let me go to my notes section. Okay, so my first tip is really make sure you want to be an occupational therapist. And I know that that seems obvious, but what I mean is make sure that this is what you're passionate about. Don't apply to OT school as like maybe this is what I want to do. Maybe I'll like it. You really need to know. And you know that by observing, volunteering at OT clinics, having hours of observation, doing informational interviews with current occupational therapists. And hours of observation are required for admittance to most schools anyway, so you have to have that, but just really make sure that this is what you're passionate about. That's going to make your personal statement a lot more effective. If you're actually passionate and you really want to be an OT, it's really important in applying to OT school. Okay, so my second tip is apply early. A lot of schools, this is only applicable to the schools that have rolling admissions. A lot of schools have what's called rolling admissions. That means they view your application and either decline you or consider you for an interview as your apps come in. This is really important. Applying early is really important because you have less competition when you apply early and there are more spots available. The schools fill up the spots as the application cycle gets rolling. Not every school has rolling admissions, so do your research. If your school has rolling admissions, apply early. I personally applied in August. I didn't get offered interviews until December, and I didn't get admittance offers until January. So it was really a lengthy process, and for peace of mind, I applied early. As peaceful as it can be, it's a really stressful situation no matter when you apply, but we'll get to that a little later. Okay, my third tip, write an amazing personal statement. Be very detailed. Highlight your experiences. Highlight your education and how it has prepared you for being an effective OT in the future, how your experiences led you to want to aspiring to be an occupational therapist, things like that. It's important to note in your personal statement, make definite statements about the future, not indefinite ones. There's no room for interpretation. It's not, if I become an OT, if I get into OT school, if this works out. Don't write like that. When I am an occupational therapist, once I become an occupational therapist, I will, whatever, fill in the blank with whatever you're going to write about in your statement. So use definite language. I think that's really important in showing your dedication to becoming to that process of becoming an occupational therapist. Let them know whether or not that school wants you. You're going to make this happen because you really, really want it. It's really important. Your personal statement is your chance to shine. That's how you snag them in and get them to want to interview you, you know? If you read a personal statement, it's really boring. You're not going to want to meet that person. If you read a personal statement and it's really detailed and eloquent and inspiring, you're going to want to meet that person and get to know more about their experiences and get to know more about why they're so passionate about occupational therapy. So, write a good personal statement. No errors. Send it to as many people as will read it. You need to have as many eyes touch it as possible. Here's a side note. If you would like to reach out to me, slide into my DMs. I help a lot of my close friends write their personal statements, not for occupational therapy school. I've helped people write their law school personal statements, elementary education programs, HR programs, IO psych programs. I've just helped my friends write their apps for grad school or do their personal statements for grad school. And obviously, I wrote my own. And every person who I've helped, and mine, everybody whose personal statement I contributed to the finalized product, got admitted to at least one of their schools. Some got admitted to every school they applied to, which is amazing to me. But I digress. Oh, so slide into my DMs if you want me to read your personal statement because I will make time to do that. I have a lot of reading to do now that school started for me last week. I just started my program. It's an OTD program. I can talk more about that in another video if you'd like. Anyways, if you'd like me to help you, message me. I will send you my email, or you can send me the Word doc on YouTube in the personal messages. Just let me know. I would totally be willing to help you edit your statement. If you're stuck, I can give you some tips too. Okay, so I'm gonna fly through these next tips because I don't want this video to be longer than 10 minutes. My next tip is do your research, know the admission requirements for the programs you're applying to, and be realistic. And by this, I mean, I'm going to use myself as an example. I did not take my GRE. I applied to schools that did not require GRE scores for admittance. Okay? So by be realistic, or by do your research, I mean, know what the school requires for admission. By be realistic, I mean, if you don't meet the criteria, don't waste your time or money. And this is not to be condescending or to say you're not good enough. That's not what that means. It means you simply don't meet the criteria for that admission committee. And it's a very objective statement. It's not good or bad. You don't meet the criteria, so don't waste your time. Now, if you contact admissions and they say that they do consider, if you have if they require 3.0 GPA and you have 2.8, call the admissions committee and they say, we'll consider applicants that have below a 3.0 if they have strengths in other parts of their application. Then give it a shot. But if you call the admissions committee and they say, we require at least a 3.0 and we won't even consider your application if you don't have that, don't waste your time or money. Side note, with GPA and OTCAS, it shows your cumulative GPA across all coursework taken in undergrad. So what I mean is if you took your prereqs, if you have a 2.8, if you're a biochem major, took very hard classes, and have a 2.8 GPA from your school, but took your A&Ps at community college, A&P 1 and 2 at community college and got A's in them, it'll calculate those A's in your GPA as well for your overall GPA on OTCAS. So some schools look at that. Call and ask the admissions committee. See if you are an eligible applicant. Be realistic. If you're not, don't waste your money, don't waste your time. But you can reach if it is attainable. Um, okay, so my next two tips I'm going to combine into one because I think they go hand in hand. And they are try not to compare yourself to others, even though I know you're going to. Don't do it, it's not helpful. And believe in yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. So I'm going to put myself in the limelight again. I don't know if you hear that motorcycle. It is so loud. Oh, oh my God. It is so loud. It's been making noise for a long time. I still hear it. Maybe it's a plane? I don't know what that is, but it's gone now. Okay. So, back to the topic. Like I said, to put the limelight on myself again, I spent a lot of time on Student Doctor Network looking at those threads. Am I good enough for OT school? Here are my stats. Do you think I'll get into OT school? And like just seeing people say things like, this is my third cycle applying and I have 5,000 hours of observation and a 4.0 GPA and I applied 10 schools and I can't get in. It's really discouraging and it really doesn't make sense to stress yourself out unnecessarily like that because your application is independent in and of itself. It doesn't matter what other people's stats have. GPA, we all have those comparable stats as far as numbers go. It's really your personal statement, your letters of recommendation, your interviews. Though if the school doesn't have interviews, the essay questions. Those are the things that really make you stand out as an applicant, and you can't see what other people got in those arenas. So it's not worth comparing yourself to them because you don't even know. They could bomb their interview. The personal statement could be the most boring, bland essay. You don't know. So don't compare yourself to people based on their stats because it's just going to stress you out and it's discouraging if you don't have those same stats. If you'd like, in another video, I can share my stats. I'm very transparent. I don't mind sharing that. I'm not shy of them. I don't necessarily think that they are beneficial. It's beneficial for you to compare yourself to others, which leads me into my final tip, which is believe in yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. You got this. You will become an OT. This is what you want. Make it happen. You know, it's in your hands to make this happen. If you don't get into any of the schools you apply to this cycle, that's okay. It's gonna suck. Getting declined stinks. Reading my letter of declination, I was like, man, it sucks. I wasn't good enough, you know? I was lucky enough to be offered admittance to other schools, but even if you don't get in anywhere, just know that you're going to take this year to work in a school, work at a hospital, do art, dance, work out, play a sport, join a research team, travel, do whatever makes you happy, and build on your passion to be an OT so that you can add that to your application and to your essay for next year. You will do this. You can do this. You got it. Have confidence, believe in yourself, and just really, I know it's so stressful. There's nothing I can say to ease that stress. It's a stressful process. But don't be too hard on yourself. You are not defined by your GPA. You are not defined by the school you attend. You're not defined by the schools you were admitted to or declined to. You are defined by your experiences, your spirit, your soul, who you are on the inside. Really look to that in your application endeavors, in this whole process. Look inward at yourself and your passion and your aspirations and making them happen. Like, everything that happens is just part of your story. If you don't get in anywhere, that's okay. It's going to be a great story to tell in 12 years when you're a practicing OT who got in your second time or third time or fourth time applying. Okay, like, you got this. Something I personally did, I just said to myself, this is not in my hands, it's in God's hands. Lord, let your will be done in my life. If this is meant to be, you're going to place me at the school where I'm purposed to be at. If it's not meant to be this year, you're going to block it and you're going to close that door and I'm not going to get in anywhere. And I'm going to do some other things and apply again next year. Really, really try to not be too hard on yourself. And that's my last tip. So I'm definitely going to make any videos that you guys want to see. If you have any other questions about the application process or my school experience so far, or I can give updates, just drop them in the comments or send me messages and I will try to respond to everything. Yeah, so I just really, really hope this is a good resource and I hope that it's helpful. In the description box, I'm going to post the link to some of the videos that I watched when I was applying to schools and writing my personal statement. And I'll also post a link that showed the schools that the OT school, some OT schools that do not require GRE scores. And that was useful for me. I only applied to schools that don't require it. So, like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.